Okay, now let's go over this way. We'll finish off the next quest, and then I guess we continue on with the main quest.
All right. Are you here for business or pleasure?
Business I is.
Business, though not my own. The Chamberlain put me to work delivering food.
Ah, so he found someone to help him then. Just as well. I hear his friends back at court have been taking a little too much interest in him of late.
So he really is a Chamberlain.
There was a time when he was the Vale's most illustrious customer. Us girls thought of him as a generous uncle. He
Okay,
was
then.
one of the only people round here who seem bothered by the way the Empire treats its bearers.
Rare for one in his position.
A fact not wasted on the dame. A little nudge from her is all it took, and he became the patron saint of Northreach's starving masses. My sisters and I may have lost an uncle, but bearers are being fed for a change, so we don't grumble. Much.
Glad to hear it.
Gives you faith, though, doesn't it?
A little
To know
bit.
there are people out there like him. And you, for that matter. It's no wonder the dame's got a soft spot for you.
I better be going.
I like how awkward Clive is around these guys. Or these girls, I should say. Friend of the people. Getting a lot of money. We have a lot of money saved up. Magic Dash, a lot of it. Haven't really done a whole lot of crafting as of late.
You wear the dame's brooch. She must trust you.
Enough to have me look for one of your colleagues. A woman by the name of Tatienne.
She's
Cool
still
name.
missing then. Oh, if only I'd comforted her.
You saw her before she disappeared.
The day before, she was in tears.
Oh yeah, what?
She'd lost her comb,
Oh,
a gift from the dame.
I mean, that could be
It wasn't
worse.
anything fancy, but you could tell it meant the world to her. You see, Tatienne was an orphan, and she looked upon the dame as a mother, as do we all.
So she was upset.
Okay, I
I
see.
didn't lend her my shoulder. But perhaps someone else did. Tatienne shared a room. Her chambermaid may have seen something. She's over there, sitting by the pond.
Thank you. Let's see what her
Oops.
chambermaid can
Oh,
tell
her.
us then.
So you're the new escort the girls have been talking about. And you've already been sent off on an errand, eh? Poor boy. You'll be knackered.
I do like
before
you can
the
tell
new
she's a bit
work
more
begins
chunky
later
in the
on
cheeks,
tonight.
right?
I'm told you share a bedchamber with Tatienne. Did she say anything to you before?
Before she went missing.
Too many games
I
would have just like
literally
copy and
had to meet
pasted the
with
faces of the
Didn't mention
courtesans.
her name, but I know exactly who she meant.
You do?
Lad from the garrison. Annoying little shit. Spent every gil he earned on Tatienne and picked fights with anyone else who tried to buy her time. Followed her around like a lost puppy. Tatienne was flattered at first, but it didn't take long for her to get scared.
Yeah.
She thought about saying something. But the dame was so proud of her for how much she was bringing in. And she didn't want to let her down.
This man from the garrison.
So he was a
Did you
creeper,
see him?
basically.
Of course I did. He tried to sneak into our room enough times. Slimy sod's got a scar over one eye. Claims he got it in battle.
You've been very helpful.
Very
Don't
helpful.
let him get away with this. Find him, and you'll find her.
All right, let's go deal with him.
Man from the garrison. Seems
I-
a trip to the barracks is in order.
I hope he hasn't done anything like nasty with her, dude.
Well then, I suppose you'll need...
That's the day done then.
Those guys have been talking about going to drinks and the Vale like pretty often. They should actually just
Heard
do
the
it.
bones fell favourably.
I'm looking for a man with a scar over his eye.
Looking for a man? Does this look like a brothel, Branded? Fuck off.
Hold your tongue. He wears the dame's brooch. One word from him and the Vale's doors will be barred to us for good.
Nah, that's right. You don't talk shit about me. Not to my
There's
face,
only
anyway.
one man in the garrison with a dodgy eye. His name's Yannick. I haven't seen him around lately, though.
On account of him being in war. Yeah, Yannick left a few days back. Said he had dealings with a merchant there.
The dame thanks you. Moore is the last village on the road to Oriflamme. I should let Isabel know where I'm headed.
I guess that's true. I was thinking, oh, we could just go there and like save her or something. But I guess that's true. It kind of makes sense to not do that. You actually let her know where we're going.
Clive, tell me you bear good tidings.
That remains to be seen.
Unless he explained.
Oh, Tatienne, you could have told me.
This Yannick. The soldiers I spoke to believe he's in the village of Moore. According to them, he claimed to have some business with a merchant there. Though that wouldn't explain his continued absence.
And you plan on traveling to Moore to ascertain the truth?
Of course.
Isn't that what you want?
Oh, it is, but I fear sending you there may cause more harm than good. The people of Moore are rather set in their ways.
Have me a sword.
You'll find they have little love for bearers, and they will not hesitate to report one such as you to the constabulary. There is a man in Moore who owes me a favor. More than one, in fact. His name is Bertrand, and he works at the stables. Tell him I sent you.
I shall return as soon as I find something.
See, is Bertrand a name I remember? I feel like it is, but maybe not. Okay, cool. So, oh, and more quests out there too, dude. Let's go. Let's go. The game's opened up its quests. Let's go. See, now I've talked shit about like how I feel like the game could look better. Now it's showing me a lot of environments where that is the case, actually. So I could go. There's a few ways I can go. Now we're gonna explore, because of course we are. It's what I do, right? So I want to explore down this way, and then we'll do the main quest, just not quite right away. So I thought I had it down. Okay, I think more what my problem was is I was just mashing square too much. No, not quite. There is a finesse to it. Yeah, let's finish it off. Easy. Yeah, you do have to wonder what sort of sea monsters are out there, though. Yeah, I do have to wonder that. In a world of Final Fantasy, what sort of sea creatures could there be, I wonder? Oh, thank you, Torgal. Oh, that was really nice. Torgal set me up really good on that one. Well done, buddy. So it's this way that we need to go, correct? Well, not need to, but I want to go. Put some garrison dudes over here, too. Yeah, I just take them out like this, I guess. Okay, that's fine. We can hit each other. Okay with that. Here, Torgal. Ravage. Okay, I kind of blew it. Here, ravage him again. Okay, never mind. We will just end him. There you go. He's been ended. Now, do we have anything? See, I want to keep an eye out for chests. I know we're probably gonna go down here for a side quest later, but I want to look now. I want to check now.
What are you playing at, Brandon?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, triple kill, triple kill, triple kill. There, now that was cool. That was sick. I like it. I like seeing numbers go up. Oops. Don't want to fall off. Yeah, just look at that. So you can set up some nice poses here too. Howdy, Wolfhound.
All right, all the rest.
Yeah, there's enough of them. Five is penta, right? So that's a penta kill. I was trying to think, what is determined if it's 5? It's not a hexa, because that's 6. Not a quadra, because that's 4. And I was like, what's 5? And then I thought back to League of Legends. I'm like, oh, penta. That's right, it's a pentakill. Yeah. Okay, fine then. See, there's got to be something in that tower.
An Imperial watchtower. Should be well stocked.
See, he even said so.
You're not welcome here.
Okay, take care of the astrologer. Nah, not today, astrologer. Oh, even more of them, huh? Alright, alright. I don't have anything. Oh wait, I will. And whoop-bam. Even more enemies approach me, eh? Well, alright. Fun. Oh, you're the captain. Okay, take care of the big boy first. Well, not big boy. Take care of the healer first. He can take a swing. That's fine.
Give me fire.
Nice. I knew I'd be level 24 soon enough. Decent XP, HP, decent attack, decent defense. Can I go in? No. I could not, but we can look around, I guess. That's probably part of a quest later, maybe. Or maybe not, but doesn't really matter. Nope, no getting in for me. Now, what else could be down this way? It does seem like there's something. I just see that standing thing over there. I'll see the dragon or the wyvern. Maybe it is a dragon.
It's over.
Okay, I actually blew that one really hard. I blew that maneuver.
Not this time.
Alright, so there we go. We're doing cool shit. We're doing cool shit. Yeah, drag him down. The cooldown on that is so short. Like, there really is no need to just, like, not use it. Like, you may as well. Not bad, not bad. Okay, we'll use this. Just help lower his stagger meter. Go hit him with the Flames of Rebirth. Flames of Rebirth followed by a nice gouging. Followed by an Ignite. That should be a lot of damage. Oh yeah, look at that. I think the highest we've done. I'm pretty sure highest we've done. Come on now. All right. All right. Dragon down. And a couple of dragon babies down. Yeah, see, because we have this thing right here. I don't know if I can do anything with that yet. I assume not, since we couldn't do anything with the last one that we found.
That's enough.
Yeah, no, nothing. See, I wonder why. I wonder if that is going to be something later. Is it on the map? It is. Wait a minute. The Hand of Mimas. Interesting. I wonder if that's going to be some kind of special side quest. Well, considering the game is still unlocking mechanics for me, I'm sure I'm going to come across a lot more stuff. Tell you though, in a field like this, I do wish I could ride a chocobo. Hup. Hup. Okay, never mind. No hup. Oh, that's why. That's why no hup. Hup. Oh, I'm so glad there's no fall damage. Yeah, to an extent, I'm really glad games have kind of started to shy away a bit from fall damage. It seems like games don't really... They don't really have that as much anymore. Or at least none I can think of. Because, like, I mean, yeah, challenge, I guess, sure. But at the same time, like... Gamers just want to be quick, typically. They want to go from place to place and not feel like, oh, I can't go down this way because it's a cliff. I mean, to an extent, obviously, right? Like, half fall damage. But in a game like this, you don't really need it, you know? Like, some games obviously do benefit more, but...
Wake wins.
Oh, whoops. There you go. Lunge kill. See, is that something? Or is that just grass? No, that is something. What is it? Some kind of lizard? Oh no, it's one of the dragons.
No holding back.
Summon it. Alright, this is going swell. Yeah, I just used everything. It'll come back. It'll come back for the time I really need it. Or by the time I really need it again. I just want to get my damage numbers up. Yeah, there you go. Even higher, baby.
Not this time.
There we go, got him down.
Give me.
All right, now he's dead. It's over. Farewell, Dragon Avis. Probably. Nah, never mind.
Wake win.
Okay, he's not gonna die in a cool way. He can come just the normal, plain old way. Boo. Boo, but that's fine. Couldn't really do much about that. Take care of those vultures in a memento.
Wait. You're not one of us.
Now, do you enemies really want to approach? Oh. All right, hold up. Just use Phoenix Ripper. Do you guys really want to come at me after all that? Are you serious? Are you sure? You're positive? There you go. Easy. Here, give me this. A Demon Tamer sash. Okay, that actually seems sounds like it should be pretty good. It is. While slaying demons merely returns its soul to the hell whence it came, until such time as it is resummoned to inhabit a new host. Taming a demon is a much more effective means of dampening its evil influence on the corporeal plane. By luring and trapping the undying spirit of a hellspawn into accoutrements worn on one's person, one might also harness their power and channel to channel a portion of it as one's own. Okay. I mean, that is better. I may as well. And I don't think you get a bonus for like I have a bastard sword that I never used. Yeah, and I don't think you lose anything for having like a set. Well, if I did, this would have been it, I guess. Yeah, what could wield it and use that one? I mean, that was actually a worthwhile find. I mean, the stuff over at the other tower, I mean, it was nice, but it wasn't really that much needed. This, yeah, was something I can actually use for a little while. Not bad. So now the question is, I mean, I guess we'll go to the workshop. And then we'll go over yonder that way.
Let's make this quick.
Okay. Can I bring the chocobos in? If I can, I wanna kill everybody in one big go. Yeah, we can. Okay. Time for my ultimate attack. Probably my highest aerial blast. It looks like they do the aggro eventually. Did Torgal steal my kill? I think Torgal may have stolen my kill. I didn't see ability finish up there.
Oriflamme, how many bearers suffer to keep your granaries full?
Probably a lot. Probably at least thousands, if not millions. Like tens of thousands, if not millions. Oh, you can drag them down too. They don't even have a stagger bar. Huh. Interesting. See, they didn't have a stagger bar, so I didn't think it'd be necessary. I didn't think you could drag them down.
You see it too, then? It's not just me
I see what?
bleary eyes playing tricks on me.
If you mean the waves stopped at full crest, then yes, I do. How could I miss the bleeding thing?
Some sussy stuff going on with the climate, I'm guessing. Or at least with the waves. Not necessarily a climate thing, but... After we're done with this next little town we're going for, I'll probably stop by at the hideaway again and just do a little bit of lore reading.
Stay down.
Because we still have a lot of lore to get through. I wonder if these guys are going to be pissed that I'm killing off their chocobos.
Stays. Wake wind.
Sorry, Chocobo. I was hoping to push you in.
My wounds, boy. Give them all you've got, boy.
Nah, you can't knock a Chocobo in the air, I guess. There you go. That'll do. Some magic to Ash. And then I guess we'll just follow along this path until...
That's enough for today, Branded.
Yeah, they really are worked like slaves, huh? Jeez. Yeah, I can't go up there. Oh, come on now. I was gonna say you can at least get around.
Go on, back to the pens, Mia. I need you fit for the morrow's harvest.
It's just so bleak, dude. It's really impressive what they have decided to really lean on. with all the branded stuff.
Up, the lot of you. There's still work to be done.
I wonder why they went this route. Like, it's not bad. I don't dislike it or anything. I like it, in fact. It just seems like a really interesting thing for them to tackle, you know? Like a really interesting subject for them to tackle. Because I haven't played many Final Fantasies, as I've mentioned before. But I don't think they've really done a story where slavery has been a relatively big component.
You're late. What kept you?
Late for what?
Did they tell you nothing? A wild beast is savaging my boy.
Probably for the best.
Well, don't just stand there gawping. Rescue him.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Where is he?
My, I see they've sent me a branded with a spine for a change. He's over that way, towards the coast. Go, and see that you kill the beast.
He's like, oh, my son's being ravaged over there somewhere. You know, don't worry about it. And just go find him when you can.
Someone whose son's in mortal danger. He didn't seem all that worried.
Yeah, see, Clive gets it.
Something's not right here. I need to be careful.
Okay, we'll grab the other side quest first. What was that? That's a kid.
Have you seen my Chloe? I let her out of her pen while I did my chores, but she hasn't come back yet. I think she's lost. Please, can you help me look for her?
Is that a chocobo? For a dog? I mean, I'll help.
I can't
Of
promise
course.
I'll find her, but I'll try. Describe her to me.
She's beautiful white hair. She lets me stroke her when I'm sad. She's ever such a good girl. So quiet and kind. And she likes walking in the wheat. I know the fields are big, but she's never got lost before. Oh, she must be starving too. She hasn't eaten anything since yesterday. It is my job to feed her.
In that case, let's not keep her waiting.
And before it's like a branded that she treats like a pet because that's how her parents raised her.
With a little luck, someone might have seen her.
Okay, well, the kid will be fine, right? We'll go and help this child first. The guy's son will be okay.
These fields. I need to ask you something.
A branded. And an outsider at that, judging by the lack of manners. Why should I help you, eh? You tell me that.
Because a girl from the village asked me to find her pet, Chloe. Have you seen her?
Chloe, is it? Oh, little Lisette's plaything. Last I saw, the filthy creature was sniffing about the windmill. That girl's old enough to know she should tie her pet up when she's finished playing with it.
Windmill.
I mean, it's two of them.
Off with you now. I won't have idle branded underfoot.
There's two of them, so I guess we gotta check both. Nope, only the one. Chloe better be okay, dude. I swear, if anything happened to Chloe, I'll probably actually be upset.
Chloe?
Well, you're not Chloe, I don't think.
More brown than white. You're not Chloe, are you, girl? Is that someone napping on the job?
That's Chloe.
I hope they don't mind the interruption.
See, now did I guess correctly? Yep, white hair.
The crystal's curse.
Chloe, I was calling you. Didn't you hear me?
What?
Get up now. You've slept long enough. It's time to go home. Chloe? Why did you already turn into a rock? I only made you do a bit of magic. You knew you were my favorite. None of the other Chloes had pretty hair. It could be months before Dad gives me another one. I have to wait until they're too tired to work anymore.
Is that all she was to you? A plaything? Do you really not care that she's dead?
She's not dead. She's a rock.
That? The crystal's curse? That's just how she died. And now she's gone forever. Giving another bearer her name won't change that.
No, don't say that.
It's true. And without that brand, she would have been just another girl. Somebody's daughter. Just like you.
Yeah, you tell her, Clive.
Dad said bearers don't have parents.
They do. Parents that give them away. Families they'll never see again. But you became Chloe's family when you took her in. Remember that. And remember her.
Damn, dude. Now that was one short but relatively heavy quest. Jeez. Yeah. Yeah, once again, little kid just taught the wrong thing, really. Not inherently like a bad person herself, but just like taught and learned. It really shows you just how badly they treat their branded too. Like making her into essentially a pet of this child. And having the child not care, that's actually really heavy and really sad. Jesus. You know, it's not like you see a lot of horrible things, right? In this game. And a lot of horrible things get talked about. But it's the fact that it's a child with this as well. It makes this especially messed up.
I'm so sorry, Chloe.
But at least the kid learned a valuable lesson. Even if it was too late for one of the many Chloes. Jesus. Jesus. What else do you really say?
Not if I can help it.
Oh no! The wolf is actually attacking him. Huh.
Stay back. I'll deal with this.
Hold on, let me just kick its ass real quick. Oh, it's not dead. There we go. You're finished. Ha! Ha! It just keeps on clawing at the air. Now what's the trick? Where's the scam?
No! You weren't supposed to kill Wolfie. You were supposed to die. Father
Yeah.
will have you whipped for this. Bearers aren't supposed to win. They never win.
What is this? Your father said you were being attacked.
You're not supposed to talk.
Your voice sounds way deeper than I feel like it should.
Stop looking at me like that. We were only having fun.
Having fun?
Why are you still speaking? Father will hear of this.
God, this whole place is messed up, dude. Yeah.
The wolf's work, no doubt. But it's not the wolf that's to blame. Someone needs to put an end to this before it happens again.
Dude, this whole area is just so messed up. Just how poorly they treat these people. And it's just for their own amusement too. It's just for their own fun. That's what makes it even worse. You know?
You, Brandy, come here this instant. How dare you frighten my son? You slaughter his poor pet and then have the gall to return, head held high. That wolf was trained. Better trained by far than your worthless kind.
Give it to him, Clive.
You are the entertainment, nothing more. And we are most certainly not entertained.
Nor am I. You'll pay for what you've done.
See? I told you, he talks too much. It's not right. I don't like him, Father.
You're not the Branded I bought, are you? How dare you deceive me? Well, the sins of the slave are the sins of the master. Go! Summon the unlucky wretch you answer to.
It's interesting that it's given me a choice. The dame. I gotta keep with the story, I guess.
Wretch would be the dame. I can summon her if you like. Though I doubt she would welcome the interruption.
You serve the dame.
I do indeed serve the dame, yes.
With a woman of her caliber.
You look afraid. Well, how do you think those bearers in the field felt? Can you imagine their fear? Their pain? From the look of you, I'd say you're starting to get an idea of the first. Now, if you need help with the second...
Father, he's scaring me.
You think to threaten us, Branded? The dame's pet or no, I will not abide such insolence.
Can't we just buy another hound? A bigger one, a better one.
Of course.
I'll slay that one too, child.
I'll have the villagers fetch us another. With jaws powerful enough to nip this Branded's head clean off his shoulders.
Now, I really hope we get to come back here and destroy him, dude.
I'm wasting my time. But I can't just leave those bearers lying out there. They deserve a proper burial. That much I can do at least. How many bearers have lost their lives to this nobleman's sport?
You know, what I really like about this area too, right, is how the music really reflects what's actually going on here. Yeah, like you'd think it'd be a very beautiful, like, jovial song. I don't know if it started as that. It might have. I don't quite recall. But I like how, at the very least now, it's a very dark and grim kind of tune. Really kind of saying, like, it may look beautiful and everything, but there's a lot of messed up stuff going on. It's not as pretty as it looks. Deep down, things are quite rotten and pretty vile. Oops. I don't want to jump for joy on the corpse. That's not respectful.
More victims of the nobles' games. You must be Clive.
He is.
You know my name.
The dame. I'm in her service, like yourself. Never gets any easier, burying the dead.
Is that what you're here to do?
The mistress has me see to it that none are left to the crows. Since you're here, can you give me a hand?
Gladly. Let's put them to rest.
May their burden finally be lifted. I take it you slew the nobleman's pet?
I did.
Yep.
Now I expect they'll find another soon enough. And when it gets here, more bearers will die. How can they think so little of sending us to the slaughter?
Simple. Because you are not them. Bearers are tools when they're needed, and toys when they're not. And if one breaks, well, You can always buy another. Still, such attitudes don't always go unpunished.
Is this your doing?
Of course not. Wolves kill. It's in their nature. Invite one into your home, he's gonna tear your throat out eventually. Same with bearers. Fed or not, they don't lack for fangs. What will folk do when they bite back, I wonder? The realm's nest two murderous bastards, and I won't mourn the loss. Here. For their help.
Yeah, it's good. So they did get what was coming to them in the end.
Take it. You never know. Our paths may cross again. Till then.
Now man, these quests here are really good. I'm liking them anyway. There's a lot to them. There's a lot to these quests. Even if they are pretty short and more of go here and do this and then go here and do that kind of quest. You know? Like for the Chloe one, that was really good for how short it was. Oh yeah, and you got the blood stains here too. I guess the wolf must have dragged him off. Dragged him off along that way by the looks of it. And that quest was also really good. See, I like it. Now, I don't know if there is a thing for me to teleport to in here. We'll go in here and we'll see. But I should probably go back to the hideaway.
If the people of Moor are as intolerant as Isabel says, it's no wonder the Empire never sent my unit here.
It's my turn. Let me try. Come on, give it back. If my dad finds out, he'll clobber me.
Huh. Doing some kind of levitation magic, huh? Okay, I guess I can't teleport here, so let's go back to the hideaway and have a bit of a look at the lore. We'll get some more lore stuff done. And then I don't know, I guess we'll continue on with the main story. Look, I just really like the lore, okay? The lore is good.
I heard Otto barking at his lot earlier.
Man, though. See, that's why I like this game. It is much more dark and depressing than other Final Fantasy games I've played, even counting like the really actual dark and depressing ones I've played. Like, you could argue 7 kind of is, but like, I don't know, man. Those two quests were actually really messed up on a deeper level.
And how might this old soul be of service? I have compiled some new.
I should be level 3 now, right?
Like to see them?
Yeah.
I have quite the find for you today.
The Founder and the Continental Accord. An international pact made at the dawn of the present era, in which such matters as the treatment of bearers and the establishment of a realm-wide currency were laid out. It formed the basis of much of Valestian society as it stands today, including the branding of bearers and their status as non-persons. It also put in place a universal calendar, marking a symbolic fresh start for mankind, albeit one which put magic users at a crippling disadvantage. Fear and uncertainty reigned in those early years following the sins of Jimex? Not wanting to further incur the wrath of the heavens, the few who survived the fall took to wandering the land, spurning magic and staying to the shadows, and so they lived for decades. One man, however, grew tired of this life, if it could be called that, and after bidding his companions farewell, climbed a grassy knoll overlooking a forest of beech and antler. Here he gathered a pile of rubble and used it to build a humble shelter in which he spent the night. The next morning, however, instead of abandoning his work, as was his people's wont, he gathered more rocks, adding to the structure until the shelter had become a shack. Then he continued for days, weeks, until the shack had become a home. At first, those few wanderers who passed the knoll would shun him, cursing the man under their breaths for his hubris. But as his estate grew and one building became 2 and 2 3, the people began to slow their steps, and it was not long before some took to joining him on that knoll, gathering stones, building new lives, new destinies. This they did without magics or machines, without boon or blessing. They relied on naught but their hands, their backs, their wills, and each other. And slowly house gave way to village, village to town, and town to nation. The man would one day die, as all men do, but those who remained continued his legacy, expanded upon it, and though his name was eventually forgotten, his spirit lives on to this day in the hearts of all Rosarians. Ah, cool. So we even got like a little bit of a legend, a Rosarian legend.
If you have a question for me, I should be happy to answer it.
The more. A farming village located in the rye fields of the Royal Meadows, not far from the Saint-Briquois capital of Oriflamme. Her residents harbor a strong hatred for bearers, more than elsewhere in the Empire, making it a very dangerous place to visit for those who bear the brand. We did do this one for the Dame. Proprietress of the Vale, proprietress of the Vale, Northreach's foremost house of ill repute and one of Sid's trusted collaborators. Isabel is much admired by the populace for her elegance and refinement, qualities that have earned her the title of the Dame. Faith in the Goddess. Sandburique is the realm's largest theocracy and home to the Mother Crystal Drake's Head. The Empire is ruled by the Holy Emperor, the one true goddess made flesh. Interesting. According to the Gregorian faith, who is served unquestioningly by the sworn knights of the Blessed Dragon, known more commonly as the Dragoons. A Mother Crystal situated on the Sea of Grace in northern Sandburique. Drake's Head towers over the holy capital of Oriflamme. Its mighty form a testament to the power of permanence of the Empire. However, mysterious aether floods and the specter of the ever-encroaching blight have led some in power to call that permanence into question. We did read about the Mother Crystals before. Yes. Though the people of Alestia rely on the crystal mined from these mountains in their everyday lives and flock to the aether-rich lands around them in pursuit of their blessing, Sid posits that it is in fact the Mother Crystals and their ability to draw aether from the earth that is the reason for the Deadlands' advance. The few who learn the truth are hunted down by those in positions of power, those whose power rests on their control of this crucial resource. I think I am missing the bird. I think the bird, like the storks, I think should be a part of this. I'm pretty sure. Though still widely believed by the common folk of Sandburique to be their descendants of dragons, on account of their leathery wings, meagerness of plumage, and distinct ability to spit fire, learned scholars have long since concluded that these deceptively reptilian creatures are none other than birds of prey, which over countless centuries of hunting creatures on the ground, have simply lost their capacity for flight. It's evolution, huh? Opportunistic avians that, like many other predatory birds, prefer to stealthily swoop down on foes from above and skewer them with their razor-sharp beaks. Though they are thought to primarily feed on carrion, traveling in large flocks in search of the dead and dying, it is not uncommon for vultures to attack living prey when times are lean. If you happen to hear their eerily human-like caws, squawks and warbles, it is best to find cover, and quickly. Dragonettes. Lesser dragons, known for their nimbleness in flight. Those specimens of Sandburiquois subspecies known more commonly as the worm, or worm, are somewhat easily tamed, and as such widely employed in battle by the Imperial legions. One of the most valuable materials known to mankind, thanks to its ability to channel ambient aether from the air, allowing those without an innate power to do so to cast magics. And as most Celestians cannot live without magic, its supply and distribution is heavily regulated by governments across the Twins. Though the penalties for illicit trade in crystals are severe, with demand far outstripping supply, many still dabble in the black market. And that's it for the mysteries of the realm, apparently. We almost have the lay of the land done too, actually. The capital of the Holy Empire of Sandbreek, located in northeastern Storm on a peninsula that dominates Olifeist Bay and is home to the mother crystal known as Drake's Head. All the Empire's major institutions are located here, including White Worm Castle, seat of the Holy Emperor, and meeting place of the Cardinals. The towering citadel from which the Holy Emperor of Sandbreek rules over the entirety of his... I don't know how you pronounce that. I've played enough Crusader Kings that I should be able to pronounce that. Demence? Fuck, I don't know. I'm not too sure. With the Mother Crystal rising above it and the imperial capital of Oriflamme spread out below, this ivory edifice is truly a wonder to behold. I know it just means like King's Holding, I believe. Like whatever the king, like the king's land, I believe. Advisors to the Holy Emperor of Sandbreek and the highest body of government in the Empire, the council consists of 5 cardinals of the Gregorian Church, who are intended to rule in the Emperor's stead. The Emperor, meanwhile, is expected to serve as a constitutional monarch, but there is little to prevent one who wishes to impose their will upon the council from playing a more autocratic role. The senior statesmen that make up the highest office of government in Sandbreek after the Emperor himself, the Council of Elders. The council is comprised of the High Cardinal, representative of Central Sandbreek and the Holy Capital Oriflamme, and the 4 cardinals who administer the outer provinces, the northern, southern, eastern, and western seas. I don't think they spelled C correctly, but that might be how you spelled it in the olden days, so maybe it still counts. Probably still makes sense. A key strategic point in central Sandbreek, its location just south of Oriflamme, makes it a vital first line of defense against any assault on the Holy Capital. The road from Northreach to Cair Norvent and beyond to the Crystal Belt bisects the area, ensuring a constant traffic of Sandbreakois soldiers and traveling merchants. A gently sloping plain stretching east from the Sandbreakois checkpoint of Northreach. As the name implies, it is heavily populated with all manner of wild worms, and as such the land remains relatively unspoiled by mankind. Yeah, true, you can't really take that over. The breadbasket, huh? A region overlooking the Strait of Atha and the eastern part of Sandbreek. The bounty provided by its rich soil fed the Empire for generations until the ever-encroaching blight intervened, displacing thousands in the process. A disturbance which played no small part in the troubles that were later to engulf the imperial capital. The Crystalline Dominion. A tiny independent state straddling the continents of Storm and Ash, its capital Twinside is built on the tiny Isle of Ark from which its mother crystal, Drake's Tail, rises. The lack of a dominant has seen the Dominion become the subject of constant maneuvering over the years, both political and military. And it was only through the recent convening of a Council of All Nations that a non-aggression treaty towards the neutral body was forged, and a tenuous stability amongst centuries-old rivals achieved. Interesting. So we haven't seen the Crystalline Dominion yet, I don't believe. The narrow channel to the north of the Crystalline Dominion that separates the continents of Storm and Ash, with Sandbreek to the west, Willowed to the east, and the Dominion to the south. Its shores are never short of soldiers or political tension. The state religion of the Holy Empire of Sandbreek, whose followers worship the goddess Gregor as the one true deity. At the church's head stands the Holy Emperor, voted into office by his fellow cardinals, and supposedly their equal, though this is widely recognized to be a convenient fiction. The followers of Gregor worship dragons as sacred servants of their goddess, and since the founding days of the Empire, have both doted and depended upon them. A lot of new stuff for the lay of the land. of the Vale. Northreach is a premier house of companionship. While it is frequented mainly by Sandbreek's nobility and military, Lady Isabel welcomes all with the desire and the coin to partake of the pleasures her skilled courtesans and courtiers offer. Few establishments in the Empire are as well loved or as oft visited. Now, do I try to tap into what's going to be the longest one? Then the one that's probably going to be updated the most. The persons of interest. I think we do a couple. Right? I think we do at least Clive and Jill. Now, we did do as Imperial Deserter, I believe. Yeah. After his awakening. I think this would be the one I didn't do, I think. An Imperial bearer turned deserter who joined forces with Sid to hunt down the second Dominant of Fire. However, after being drawn into a fierce battle with Benedicta, Dominant of Garuda, the power of the mysterious icon Ifrit awakes within him, and he discovers that the Dominant of Fire he has long been searching for, the one who killed his brother, was none other but himself. An Imperial bearer turned deserter, he and his childhood friend Jill journey to their homeland of Rosaria to learn the truth of the events that shaped their histories. Their path takes them through the village of Eastpool, where they meet with Hannah Murdoch. Yeah, it was Murdoch, yeah. Wife of the late commander. She presents Clive with a set of clothes that once belonged to his father. He returns to the ruins of Phoenix Gate, where his father and brother died 13 years before, and learns that he's indeed the Dominant of Fire, the one who took his brother's life. Anxious to atone for his crimes and filled with righteous anger after witnessing the massacre at Eastpool, he pledges himself to Sid's cause to free all of Valestia from its bonds. Not only those between bearer and master, but those between man and Mother Crystal. For Jill. Was it just unconscious? I want to say I read this one, but I'm not entirely sure. I know I read this one. Yeah. We'll read this one anyway. Dominant of Shiva and Clive's childhood friend. In the wake of the tragedy at Phoenix Gate, Jill was taken prisoner by the Ironblood army that marched on Rosalith and held captive on their Air Islands. Yeah, I did read this one, because I was like, what the hell is an Air Island? I never looked it up, actually. It was there that she awakened as the Dominant of Shiva and was forced to serve as the Crusaders' weapon in their holy wars. After Clive and Sid spirited her away from the battlefield where she was being forced to fight for the Ironblood, Jill was placed in the care of the hideaway's talented physicker, Taria, who nursed her back to health. Finally awake after her long period of convalescence, she sets out with Clive to discover the truth of their past. We'll do Benedicta as well. I'm tempted to do the whole page, but I don't know if that'd be good. We did do these two, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if we did this one, though. Commander of the Kingdom of Alud's elite intelligencers and Dominant of Garuda, the Warden of Wind. While her dalliances with Hugo Kupka would appear to be naught but a ruse guided by the hand of King Barnabas, her love for her former Lord Commander Sid was deep and true, and left an equally abyssal hole in her heart when she fled Walode. After Clive took her power at Caern Norvind, and the keep was set on to fire, she and her comrades are forced into making a hurried retreat, only to be set upon by bandits. What was left of Benedicta's power ran amok, summoning forth the raging whirlwind within which she was at last to lose her life at the hands of Clive Rustfield and his icon Ifrit. Yeah, Dion. Yeah, because Dion's a little D-bag. And I guess his last name implies that he would be half-brother? Potentially? Leader of the Dragoons, the most elite warriors of the Holy Empire of Sandbreek, who are the first to leap into the fray when the Empire finds herself under threat, often literally. Dion is also the Dominant of Bahamut, Warden of Light. Firstborn son and loyal subject of Emperor Sylvester, leader of the Holy Empire of Sandbreek, as well as leader of the Empire's most elite fighting force, the Dragoons. Dion is also the dominant of Bahamut, Warden of Light, and has often been called upon to summon his icon in defense of his countrymen. Most recently in the Year of the Realm, 873, when Odin took to the field against them in the Battle of Belinus Tor. We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. I think that's enough for now. We'll leave that for now.